Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Abigail, the ultimate guru, and with me, as always, is my co host, the world's only comedian, Bryden Proctor.
Hello.
And also with us today is Lee. Yay. Hello, Lee.
Howdy, howdy.
You don't have to worry about a thing because we are here not to help, really. We're going to talk about interesting things today instead. Isn't that very exciting, Bryden?
Yeah, we did the Dear Abby on the Patreon.
Yeah. Okay. Look, what happened was we forgot that there was a point to the guest. And, he's such a nice guy. He just kind of rolled with it.
Yeah,
And
talked about video
that's
games.
Yeah,
a
it
great Patreon episode. Patreon.com/here to help podcast.
So since
All
Abby's
right.
not gonna do it, hold on, Lee,
Okay. Goodness gracious. I
can
thought he was going to say something and I was giving him
Oh,
space.
yeah. Well, to be fair, if you aren't subscribed to the Patreon right now, how much is it?
it's a
A dollar.
dollar. It's a
$1.
dollar.
Yeah, if you don't have $1, then like you're too broke to be listening to this podcast right now.
Okay,
We
Ben
don't like you.
Shapiro.
So,
Okay, Ben Shapiro.
yeah.
He's right.
Yeah, anybody remember that fucking Ben Shapiro line? That was the worst. Like he outdoes himself all the time. But yeah, if you're too broke to pay $1 a month, then we will kick you from the Discord. That is true. That is true. Actually,
Is that true?
that is true. Yeah,
We're going to kick half the Discord.
I know. It's a bunch of juggalos in there. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, how did we attract so many juggalos?
I
There's
don't
so
Whoa.
many
know.
in there.
I don't know. I mean, well, because they're trying to find out how magnets work, so they tune in, and here we are.
Whoop whoop, dude. Damn.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start off with some background to explain what we're even going to talk about today. Lee, you can take it
Yeah, all
away.
right. So what's it? I worked for a from about 18 to 23, 25, something like that. I worked for a crowdsourcing company called Appen Global. And basically what that was their job was to basically find as many cheap paid laborers as possible over the internet to do menial tasks at like a certain rate per hour.
Okay.
Uh this first started back in the day as something called Amazon MTurk, where they
Oh,
would
no,
literally
yeah, Mechanical Turk, I remember that. I
Yep.
dated a girl who, refused to get a job all the time, and that's one of
Yep.
the things that she did. Yeah, it was like
MTurk,
s
yep.
yep, that was the whole thing. I tried to
The
apply for it, they never let me do it.
I'm not
MTurk was
understanding what it
crazy.
is.
So basically you're sent a task and you have to fulfill this task for usually pennies. And the way to make a living doing MTurk was you had to like do like 60 tasks an hour to make like minimum wage or something.
Well, you're explaining it wrong. Let me explain it, in the
Yeah,
way
go
that
ahead.
I know it. So, like, some of the tasks that I saw her get, you know, put upon her or accepted rather, because you had to accept them was like, um, okay, here's this is just an example. So it'd be like, okay, here's Tim Walls. Where did Tim Walls go to school, and where did he graduate in his class? And you would look all of that up, and then you would put it in there. It was shit like
Sometimes they'd
that.
have you do surveys, sometimes they'd
Yeah.
just have you answer a whole bunch of questions, sometimes they'd have you do a little transcription, sometimes they'd have you it's just if they need like like it was like Fiverr before Fiverr.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
if you needed like a like
except the people on Fiverr are useful. This was, like, literally just pre-AI, pre everything run by Indians, kind of like, it was almost like you could just text it and get a apparently, you could ask, like, the MTurk people to figure stuff out, but I really doubt that's what it was honestly used for. It was some
the
type of human
people
learning shit.
yeah, no, so that's the thing is that that's where it gets into the other companies that came later like App and Global is eventually they started doing projects and you were paid the projects had different pay rates, but they would pay you hourly, you just had to keep your metrics up. Um, but that was a lot of it, and a lot of what I did was training AI. What they do is because it's crowdsourcing, they get like I would be working on a project with like 1,000 other people all doing the same tasks. And when you have 1,000 different people feeding information, And that, I mean, that's how they did it. Is they literally just threw so many people at the data that eventually we were able to get those. I mean, we were paid like what, $9 an hour back then, and I
When is
think
back then? When is back then? Roughly a year.
that would be the longest ago was about 10 years ago.
Okay,
So yeah, we
2015.
were paid about, which was a little bit, above minimum, which was nice, but
Mhm.
it was part time. But I was also working from home. This was all from home. I was working from home before anybody ever thought about working from home. This was like really nice because I was just getting out of high school. I needed a job, and it just worked because I was able to work from home. Like I watched multiple the entirety of TV shows while like working. Like I
Yeah, that's very comfy.
I don't know if I would
yeah,
really
yeah.
call that fucking work, but yes, yes,
It
you
wasn't
were.
really. It wasn't. So sometimes it took a lot of it took attention and brain power. You had to keep your rates up, but once you got used to it, you could have it on a second monitor and just click, 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 click. Another thing was that like there was no real vetting. Anybody could have been doing this. The They would try and keep your metrics up to see if you're like doing work and not just screwing off the whole time. But there was
Yeah.
a way to like reach the minimum and skirt by and like
Did you have
it,
bosses or managers or any types of superiors during this,
that
or was
that
it a robot?
that was the weird thing was I would apply to the project, and then they would basically give you a document and a test. And it's like, can you train yourself on this? And if you can and you can pass the test, then you basically talk to someone for onboarding, and then you get occasional emails like, here's our goal, let's get this much done this week. But there was never once like face to face, never even a phone call. Like there were emails, but like it could very well could have been automated.
Mhm.
Like, but they use this kind of service for, I did Google search curation. So when you search something up on Google, my job was to make sure that your result was in the first few results. Um, they did I did YouTube kids moderation during the height of Elsa Gate when that was going on.
Which I
Yeah,
And
that's
wanna
very interesting.
yeah, I wanna make sure that we get to that after all this. This is my I'm gonna take some notes, but that's the Elsa Gate I'm interested in.
and as well, I mean, I trained a lot of voice AI by doing transcription, but the problem was that all the transcription I was doing was in Indian accents, and that was brutal, brutal. But it also explains why when you talk to Google, like
Uh-huh.
home or whatever, in an Indian accent, it picks it up better.
Oh, does
I
it?
didn't even know that was a
Yep,
fucking thing. What do you mean?
yep. Talk to the AIs with an Indian accent, and it'll pick up better.
Look,
I'm
I
gonna try that.
no,
I
don't
don't
encourage
have one, but
don't
my in-laws do, so I have to do it in front of people. It's gonna be great.
okay,
Yeah.
that's funny, but don't encourage this goddamn thing. Make it
Yep.
speak our language, god damn it. We are America, and that's where the internet lives.
No, no.
That's funny. Somebody on Twitter today was talking about how they were getting better prompts from ChatGPT by sending queries in Hindi.
That's
And
Oh,
so
I
that
believe that.
but that's where all the crowdsourcing is now. It's like it's hard to find crowdsourcing now because of like minimum wage laws and all that. Like especially not in my
heaven
state where
forbid.
yeah, in my state where it's like now $12 an hour. I mean, I never made that much working for them. So it's like, it's now that's all done by Indians because
Well,
a lot of them can speak English, but
Well, no, have you
hopefully
heard
soon
them?
it'll be done automatically. It'll just be AI.
well
We'll
that
see.
was
We
the
could
point
just
of the
be done
projects
with the
was
Indians.
that was the point of the projects where we were training an AI to replace us. Like
A
we would do these tasks until the computer could do it themselves.
and then
Yeah.
now they're getting the computer to just basically fucking make Android apps into AI, which is like such a failing model in
Yep.
my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're just building this bullshit that's going to replace them, and then hopefully everybody has to get real goddamn jobs again where they talk to people.
Yeah, maybe. That trades are becoming rare. It's like we need more. We need more people in the trades now. Like
I
Like,
That's
can
yeah.
I have a whole thing. I was tweeting about it today about how we need to embrace robots and automation so we can stop the immigration and not worry about the birth rate. So it's just give all these jobs, get rid of the unions, okay? Because fuck the unions.
Well, then would we have to end up on like a universal basic income?
yeah,
Because like,
No,
Abby,
there's
this is
other jobs. Like what
Democrat.
happened when the Industrial Revolution took away peasant farming jobs?
Oh,
What happened?
they made people into slaves that work 16 hours a day
Yes, they
yeah,
did. And it was
yeah.
rough for a little while. For a while, it was really, really horrific,
for a
and
long
then
time, really, for a whole
tech but
lifetime.
okay,
It,
yeah, but then
has it
after,
stopped?
Yeah.
future generations do not have to do those same jobs anymore, right? But there were other jobs created by it. I think that's the idea is it's good like, more jobs will pop up because the menial thing is are gonna be
How are
taken
you
care of better.
seriously,
See, we're
seriously?
talking about the
No,
cotton
no, no,
gin
no, no,
here,
no, 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 no,
Bryden.
no, no,
We're
I
talking about the cotton gin, okay? Think about it. That was a wonderful piece of technology that
was
was
it?
invented, and what did it do? It took people's jobs.
It took my job.
It
Okay,
took a very
what
specific group of people's jobs.
was the cotton gin a great fucking thanks, Eli Whitney. Now they're all running free, all right? Like, listen, Ben Shapiro. You are oh, how are you seriously socially liberal and financially conservative? That's it's so frustrating.
Yeah. I'm
That's
not
funny.
socially liberal. I literally just want them to stop screaming about how we need all these immigrants and babies and all this crap and we have to worry about no, okay? We do not need any more. We need to close the borders. Close
Okay,
them.
she's running for office apparently at a dumbass fucking position because
Vote
that's what
Abby.
every asshole fucking says, and they're all wrong. No, but nobody likes my ideas. So
What yeah, well your antinatalism is not any
Oh yeah,
it's not what we're
yeah.
talking about right now.
okay, I was gonna say I'm actually socially conservative, economically liberal. So
Oh,
You're not even.
no, I'm not.
so
No,
You're just a
I am a
freaking capitalist.
pretty devout libertarian when it comes to the financial side of things. Yes, but you know,
I just look, if the robots are gonna take the illegal aliens' jobs and the dock workers' jobs, I want that to happen.
okay, well, cool, because a lot of those guys
truckers
are
too.
old fucking guys from Boston. So anyway,
I don't like
Lee,
them either. Fuck Boston. Okay.
You
Continue
just keep
on.
going. She should not be a person anymore. This is why we got to make sure ladies can't vote. That's my number one. Well, my number one is I want to
I'm
say
voting
the
for
N word.
robots.
Yeah, I know you will. You and all the other Democrats will. Eat shit. All right, Lee, keep
Why do
going.
you
Eat
want
shit.
millions of illegal aliens in this country picking the fruit? Why, Bryden? Tell me.
Why do you think that just normal people can't do the fucking fruit picking?
Why do they need
I'd
to?
I'd love to pick fruit.
Machines can pick the fruit.
Oh, cool. Let's the machines can do everything then, and then what we have purposeless, soulless, empty men roaming the streets. I'm sure they won't rape.
Do you seriously think that advancing
He's got a
technology is
point.
not gonna make more jobs? That's insanity.
Yeah.
There can only
I
be so many like repairmen for the robots,
yeah.
until they can repair themselves, and
You
then
guys
what?
are just not very creative thinkers, okay? Things changed with the Industrial Revolution. They
Wow.
could not
Wow.
have
No,
predicted how much it would have changed.
you're such a creative thinker that you're looking towards the past. That's great. You're
As an
awesome.
example, as a comparison to explain my point. So moving
You're a
on
dumbass.
to the
Lee, go
man
ahead.
who created the robots that you hate so much, he trained them while he was
I
watching TV shows.
multiple people would consider me the bad guy. I mean, I've worked for
You
Google, I've worked
did
for
this.
Facebook,
I
I've
do.
worked
I
for
do a little.
AI. Like I was pretty much the bad guy. I mean,
He was.
but like, well, but like a lot of, but that's the thing is that like
Well, see, here's
they
the
talk.
thing. I'm a capitalist, so
Mm,
100%, you gotta get that money, dude. I understand. I'm like what they call like an Andrew Tate hustler.
Oh
So
my
I
He's
definitely
going to
understand
prison
that.
for sex trafficking soon is
Which
what he
is the
means by that.
Matrix. It's the Matrix, but go ahead, Lee.
but
Training you.
anyway, I mean, and that's the thing is that a lot of like a lot of, I guess you'd say technological or whatever evil coming from wherever is like a lot of like you don't realize that a lot of times it's just like a pencil pusher bureaucrat, like just moving things along. Like
Eichmann.
it's there's never
Yeah,
there's never really much like man, I'm just doing my job. I don't care that I'm pushing a propaganda war right
For
now.
sure.
yeah.
Like it's that was actually a crazy
Did you
thing
know
about the
though?
um
Probably not at the
I
time.
I was wary of it, especially with the Facebook fact checking. What really gave a lot of what really like let me like understand like what I was like the
Well,
real eye opening stuff.
I feel like we've skipped a big step here though. So
Okay.
last we left off in your story, you were doing like, MTurk stuff. We didn't get
Oh
to the
well.
Facebook fact checking yet.
All right. Well, yeah, yeah. But anyway, so starting. Well, I was just explaining that basically the crowdsourcing all started as MTurk.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I started on Appen. The people who showed me Appen Global started on MTurk. You know, these are people who knew how to make a living online, and I learned from them. And I was very fortunate that way.
Where did you guys like meet? Was it like a Slack chat? Like it was like a work
Uh,
chat or just
it
outside of
no,
work?
it just a mutual friend.
Okay, cool.
I just got real lucky in that regard. He learned a lot of stuff about there was like a subreddit called like beer money,
Hmm. Oh
which was
yeah.
just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ways to make some money online real quick. But I tried to go back into it today, and it's so stringent and rigorous now. Or sometimes I don't know if I'm not being like they ask for so much information about you, like your race and your gender, that I don't know
The
what to
Reddit.
select. I don't know what to select because like I don't know if they're DEI hiring because like
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
I just don't know what they want.
the Reddit or
Oh
which
no, the crowdsourcing, like
Oh,
any kind of
okay.
crowdsourcing today, like because there's multiple websites for it. But some are more stringent than others. And App and Global, I was fortunate because I was doing this at what 18, 19, working from home. So
Okay.
um
So you're at Appen Global now through help of a friend, and that's
yeah.
where the YouTube stuff started?
So I started out with a project. I think it might have been called. I'm gonna leave that name out.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
anyway, the projects all had crazy different names. I signed up for this project about $9 an hour, and I was doing different tasks for Google related stuff. So it all started with web search evaluation, where I would look at your Google search and then try and put in exactly what you wanted. Because a lot of people will use Google search as like their address bar,
Hmm.
Yeah.
or they'll ask it questions.
Oh, yeah,
Like you're talking
I
to a
straight up do.
person. Yeah, and so Google's optimized for it.
Well,
Google is aware of that, and so me and hundreds of other people would just be given people's Google searches, and what was crazy was the information that went with it. We were given your search, we would see what website you clicked on, how long you spent on it, and then the next website you clicked on, how long you spent on that, so that we can get an idea whether or not your needs were actually fulfilled. If
Okay.
if you searched for used Hyundai and you went to the first link and you were only there for 2 seconds, but on the second link you were there for an hour, then I could probably tell that the second link is what you wanted, not the first. So,
Yeah, that makes
but
sense.
I knew. But if you think you're being tracked, I mean, it knew everything you were doing basically in that regard. Like, I had a protocol for if I saw some personally identifying information, like like sometimes people I would see people doing stuff with their like taxes or whatever. Like I'd have to basically flag it and get it out of the system. Like
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah.
they did have like this supposed oh our kind of spying program has gone too far. Flag that as like this shouldn't be here for our underlings to spy on is kind of what I'm getting from this.
Well, absolutely. And because it was ad curation as well, because I was making sure you got to the right place, I was also making sure that your query, like I would also be shown an ad, and I would have to make a judgment on whether or not your query, like the ad satisfies the query.
Now
Right.
is that
Wait,
how they
wait, yeah.
framed it to sorry, Abby, you can go ahead, actually.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, so, you said you mentioned taxes as the example. What information would even be able to be seen?
Well, it's like somebody's looking up information about like themselves,
Okay, so you
or
would be able to tell.
it's not too in detail. Like it's not like I'd be able to see people's private account informations, but if I could see like Texas might have been a bad example, but
Okay.
public profiles, personal anything personal identifying information. You'd see all
Mhm.
sorts of weird web pages. So sometimes you really wouldn't understand what you're looking at, and sometimes it was people's just information that was like just couldn't be put into the database because that's it's illegal.
Right.
Um,
So,
But you guys, like, potentially, a bad actor would have access if.
uh,
Okay.
but not by too much, not by too much.
Yeah.
But like, there's a potential. You would basically see who was making that Google search. Their anonymity would be broken, and I think that might violate some terms.
Oh,
would
okay.
would it have
That makes sense.
I've got another question after this, but, would it have, like why isn't, like, was it people dot search? Was that, violating rules? Like, I mean, there's plenty of sites out there that you could find tons of gatherings of public information that probably are
Oh yeah,
go
yeah,
a little
yeah,
too
yeah.
far.
It depends. I mean, really, what I was a lot of what I was looking for, a lot of what the queries I was given were for products.
Hmm.
So oftentimes I was helping people find cars,
Mhm.
so helping people find
But
like
when, like,
website,
this information that supposedly went too far, because this leads into my original question, but that information that supposedly went too far, I like, where did that show up in? Like, just weird websites, like an Angel Fire, or was it
Oh
I just
no,
don't
no,
know how
no,
to
no,
classify it.
well, like so like when I'm looking at the pages people are visiting,
Mhm.
sometimes one of those pages might be like a social media page of theirs,
Mhm.
or something that can give away who they are, breaks the anonymity of the web search.
Oh, I understand.
That makes
Yeah,
sense
yeah, yeah.
now.
I'm looking at it
Yeah, yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
I
yeah. Yeah,
understand.
it's not a breach of like social security numbers or nothing crazy like that. Although I think there was the potentiality for that to show up. It didn't happen to me very many times.
I
Like,
understand. Okay, cool. So, then that leads into my second question, which is that how they would frame those emails to you? Is like you're doing an important service, like this is a good thing that you're doing? I would imagine that it would have to be, but I don't know how
well,
much
they just frame
camaraderie
it
there
as
was.
like it was weird because there was a group chat. There was they didn't really want us talking to each other.
Sure.
I think
Mhm.
I noticed.
You're
Like
rats in
we
a
were
wheel.
individually emailed, and like they allowed a group chat later, but it was moderated, right? So it
Sure.
was just it like couldn't talk about certain things about like work. It was weird.
Yeah.
Obviously they wanted a lot of this kind of hush hush because they were knew they were doing something controversial. They didn't want people to connect the dots and go, hey man, like what are we doing right now?
Well, in
Like
2015, I don't think that anybody would have realized that they were dots in a wheel feeding this, machine that's going to be the Google AI. I don't think most people would have figured that out. Um,
right, right. But the perspective you're given from behind the scenes, it just gives you a lot of you really understand how everything's work and done, and like
Mhm.
how little privacy people have.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's like those cookies or whatever across each website. I mean, that's how Google tracks your every movement. Like there's a Google tracker in like almost every modern web page.
yeah,
Like
oh yeah,
if you have ads, you have Google in your web page tracking your movements, and they use this basically just to curate ads. That's what most of what I was doing was ad curation, but I think they would utilize us for other projects just because we were crowdsourcing. So like for some projects I'd get a mix of things. So sometimes I'd doing ad curation, and then sometimes I'd be sometimes watching a video and giving like my opinion on it. Those were easy money. Um sometimes and then of course for the same project that they eventually had me doing YouTube moderation, because most of it was look at the content, fill out the basically the form for each task,
Mhm.
and you have to do like 60 of those an hour basically to keep your job.
See, that's funny
Um,
because like what you're explaining is something that I get, maybe 1 to sometimes 5 of these a week is the Google opinion rewards. And on my phone, they give me a notification and it's like, "Hey, were you near Chipotle recently?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they go, "Did you make a purchase?" And I go, "Yeah." They go, "Did you use your credit card?" And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "Here's 60 cents." And I go, "Nice. I can use this to buy, Balatro."
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, imagine doing you have to do like enough of those an hour to basically make a living. That's like crowdsourcing, like,
right.
Mhm.
but it would be a little bit more productive. See, the thing is they would have to capture. They were also looking for people in certain markets because just because an Indian could speak English doesn't mean he knows anything about what Americans are into on their day to day. Um,
Right.
uh, Unfortunately, but because they spoke English, that was a lot of our transcription recording data. I didn't do that too long. Uh, I just wasn't very good at it. You know, it's rough. It's rough. But
You and
yeah.
and what you mean by it is that they give you a script and you'd read it?
Well, so the basically English speaking Indian companies would record their work uh meetings
Mhm.
and then send the audio recording to Google,
Oh,
and then
Jesus. Fuck, that sounds awful.
it was drudgery, and I would basically have to transcribe it, and the whole purpose of that was so that voice recognition could understand
Oh,
words better.
man.
It didn't
Okay.
matter what they were saying. I just
But
had to
do it but
translate it
but but, I mean, did you should have
or
just written
transcribe it.
you should have just written poop, poop, fart, fart, poop, 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 fart, fart, I hate toilet. That's fucking they have the worst accent of
Well, the thing
anyone.
is they put in I would like to say trap tasks
Oh, that they
where if
check?
yes, where like I had this one project that was very obtuse about it because they would check our performance every month with tasks and put in trap tasks, but they would always be the same ones. So it's like they knew that we didn't care. It was very like it was almost scummy how they were just basically putting out bare minimum kind of yeah guys cheat on this basically work like it's whatever. I was what 18, 19, 20 making $9 an hour like heck yeah like I ain't gonna complain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. What about the, so you wanted to talk about the Facebook moderation.
Yeah, how did you
Oh
get
yeah,
into there, and what was that like?
so it was the 2016 election.
Oh, boy.
It
Fun
was leading
times.
up to 2016.
That's probably the best time to be involved with
Wait, wait, wait,
Facebook
wait, wait, wait.
moderation.
I'm sorry. 2016. No, 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 no. What
2015, but yeah.
20? Sorry, 20. Was it 20? Yeah, it was 2020. I think it was 2020. My apologies.
Okay. Okay.
Because I was thinking Biden. No, Biden wasn't 16.
Yeah,
Um,
that's also actually, I dare say, worse
It
yeah, it
might
was.
because
Yeah, it
be.
was.
They
Because this
were
was when the Facebook fact checking was going
yeah,
on.
oh, fuck, we didn't have that back in 2015. Jesus
Yep,
Christ, time
yep.
flies. 10 years ago, we didn't
So,
have it, now it came and went, and you're fired. So, goddamn. Alright.
so I
Everything
see
feels
this.
like it's too long ago.
Yeah, yeah. So I see this project that's like it's like, hey, we have tons of work, plenty of hours, and we pay $11 an hour. It's like, whoa. Like, I immediately quit my CVS job. I no call, no showed. I'm working from home. Let's
Jesus,
do this.
dude.
Like, oh, it
Okay.
was miserable. It was miserable. Oh no, it was like don't worry about it.
You're never
I
gonna
nobody's
no
work at
had
regrets.
CVS
No,
again,
no.
dude.
I don't. I'm
Nobody
not.
is
I'm not
happy
worried
at
about it.
CVS. Have
I'm not
you
worried about it.
ever had a CVS cashier smile at you? Because I have not.
What?
I
Everybody at
went.
CVS is always super nice to me because nobody goes
Not
to
here.
CVS. Every
Uh
time I go into CVS, I'm like, "Gummy bears, please," and they're like, "What's up? Please stay."
oh no
I'm
no no
so
no no. See,
lonely.
that's nice. I was in a CVS in the ghetto.
Oh,
So
yeah, no.
people coming in to steal, crackheads vibing on whatever. Lady comes in, drinks half a water. "Hey, can I bring this back? I'll pay for it, I promise." It's like, "Ma'am,
Yeah.
I can't let you leave with it. Like, I'm not gonna stop you," but it
But
was ridiculous,
I
man.
think
Like,
back in Hollywood, I had a fucking and I did live in legitimate Hollywood. It was terrible.
I'll
It's
bet.
not glamorous at all. Um,
I bet. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there was a CVS I used to always go to, and it was kind of a fucking pain in the ass and a walk. But Chris D'Elia was there a few times, and yeah, I'm sure you've seen Chris D'Elia. He looks like a real piece of shit. If you see it in
Yeah.
person, he's even worse. The asshole's just standing there chewing gum, and I'm like, "Oh, I should tackle him." You know,
Oh.
it's
Yeah.
just he's the worst guy.
He
Like,
seems very hateable to me.
the only reason he's
Isn't that
famous
his
is be
shtick? Isn't that his shtick? Like,
no, his shtick is, he's like, oh, what's his phrase? I forget. Uh, yeah, no, the only reason he's even fucking famous is because his dad was a producer for Law& and Order, dude. Chris D'Elia
oh,
sucks dick. He's a
yeah.
faggot. I hope he hears this. Fuck you, Chris D'Elia.
I don't think
I
this is
don't
the
believe
first time we've said that on air. I
I
think it's
don't
been like a year, but
I don't
I
believe the sexual misconduct allegations. I don't believe
oh, you
those.
know what? I didn't either until his like okay, when you're accused
Hold on. Sorry,
of
Lee. Intermission real quick. We'll get back to you in a second.
Yeah,
look, just
yeah.
no, I'm just saying, I wouldn't have cared about it at all. I still don't care that much about it. But the thing is, when the accusation is, hey, you were grooming these minors,
Fake.
and your apology is, yeah, I was
Dude,
just
that rips.
really addicted to sex
Oh,
and my bad.
did he say that?
I cheated on my wife.
Damn,
That
that
was his
rules.
apology.
That
That's
Like,
what he's
and it was
rules.
sorry
a
for
whole
is the cheating. That's all, you
Krista
and
know.
his wife
Crystal
stayed with him, so it made him look good, but no, he
Crystalia.
didn't even apologize for what he was accused of.
Krista
He was just like,
look,
"Yeah, I probably shouldn't have cheated on my wife." Like, that's not what the problem was, man.
Crystalia, I
Oh.
apologize. That rips, bro. And that's his phrase. He goes, that rips, which is so gay,
But,
but
like,
that's also something I would say if I came up with it. That rips, bro. I'm
if
on
he had
board.
said nothing, I would not be suspicious
Hell yeah,
because these things
Chris.
happen. People, it didn't look that bad. But when that was what he said, I was, "Wait a second.
That didn't mean he banged
Wait a
kids.
second."
That didn't mean he banged kids.
No,
It
he
just
was
meant he
never accused of banging kids. He was
no, he
accused of
was.
grooming them until they turned 18.
Which is acceptable in some cultures. Islam.
In Hollywood,
Um,
Oh, okay.
also
In that
Hollywood, yeah.
Hollywood CVS,
Also,
specifically that CVS.
but yeah, I saw that asshole standing there, and I was like, I should just fucking tackle this guy. I hate this dude. I was also a frustrated comedian who never made it. So jealousy is a big part of that. But I was like, what a fucking fag. I also, in the same vein of that, I forget what street, but I saw Anthony Jeselnik walking down the street one time, and I
Oh,
thought I should
He's
tackle
another
this guy.
one.
He's a real piece of shit gatekeeper faggot. I
Yeah.
fucking hate Anthony Jeselnik. He's not funny. Oh my god. Oh, I'm 40 doing dead baby jokes. Kill yourself, bro. He fucking stinks. He
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 does.
is he still
stinks.
writing off those? Like,
Dude, he stinks.
uh,
Anthony Jeselnik can suck the shit out of my ass. I really No, you're famous because you banged a bad comedian, Amy Schumer, and then that helped you. Everybody knows, dumbass. He's a but whatever. Anyway,
Just
intermission over.
yeah.
Intermission over.
Comedy talk is done. I'm not gonna
Eat
pile
shit,
onto that one.
Jeselnik,
I'm
you
gonna be quiet.
fucking queer.
Just who are you to be the arbiter of who is and isn't a real comedian
That's not what I
when
said.
you
I never once said he wasn't a real
not you,
comedian.
not you, him.
Oh,
I'm
okay, okay.
criticizing Jesselneck right
I'm
now,
just not used to you
not
being on my
you.
side.
No, I'm on your side.
Okay.
He's very
I
obnoxious.
think
Fuck
those
him.
types they hang out at the comedy store. They get an ego.
They do. That's what it is.
The Comedy Store is pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but yes, there's a lot of fucking dickheads over there. And listen, I suck at comedy. I am bad at stand-up. I fucking admit it. It's why I never made it, and I was drunk through all of those years with a pill addiction. I wasn't great. All right? I admit that. That
You
was
had
my
that
bad.
half a comedy down.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
You did
the
everything except the be funny
I know.
part. That was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Rough,
Yeah, I'm
rough,
aware.
rough, rough.
I'm aware. I'm aware. All right. I'm not very good. I understand that. But as a fan of comedy, let me just say that if I ever see Anthony Jeselnik comes to Orlando, which he won't because he's too big, he does arena shows,
Oh,
I
yeah.
will tackle him on stage of the goddamn Funny Bone. I'll do it.
You have to
Not the
make
This
funny
is an
bone.
actionable
Erica
threat.
has to film it for us.
This is an actionable threat that law enforcement should be aware of.
Uh,
Anthony Jeselnik, it's on site.
I'm so happy. Okay, Lee, continue with your
Sorry, Lee.
content moderation.
no, it was great. It was great. No, but what's it? Yeah. So I wasn't
Lee
taking
does
a pay
not
cut.
endorse that, by the way. He does not endorse anything
Uh,
But he is
Bryden
a
says.
pussy, dude.
no,
You
no
should have.
violence. Although like I can cheer from the sidelines. That's legal,
I
right?
will if I ever see
Yes.
Anthony
All right.
Jeselnik, I'm gonna make a running start towards kicking him clean in the nads, dude.
Hell yeah,
I
dude.
can't wait.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
gonna get and
No,
he's tall, so it's gonna be tough for me to get up there.
I'm gonna start tagging him and be like, "Look, I live in Orlando, and I would just really love if you come to this comedy club sometime."
If he comes to the funny bone, I'm getting kicked out of the Tony. They're gonna call it the heckle bone by the time we're done.
That was a good one, actually.
They serve chicken wings over there. I'm gonna toss them.
I think he's done now.
Okay,
All
we're
right. All
good.
right. Anyway,
Continue.
so
You became a Facebook moderator.
yeah, so they
Sorry.
were like, yeah, do you want to do it's they called it I think it was maybe it was just social media evaluation. But anyway, uh what they would do was they would present us with a Facebook post and we basically had to fact check it. And the guideline for that was is basically it had like a rating system, was like, is this true? Is this false? We had to basically be mini Snopes.
Wait, there was
Ev- For ev-
there was nothing between true and false. That was kind of true, kind of false. That was
Oh no, no,
like a
there
one
was
through
that. There
five.
was like yeah, there was nuance to it, and and if it got too out of bounds, you would have to type a little bit.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so sometimes you'd have to explain a little bit or explain what you put. But there was something important they noted in the training was if your fact checks deviate too much from everyone else's, you would be dropped from the project.
Oh shit!
Wow.
And so I had to put myself in the mindset of what's everyone else doing. And
Right,
Oh,
so it's the
no.
first few results on Google,
because
which, as we know,
you're just trying to make fucking your wage and get done for the day because you don't give a fuck
yeah.
about this.
Oh my gosh, but
And
it's the
it
same
gets worse.
person.
It
You're
gets
the
worse. Yep.
same person who put those first 3 results on the Google.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a
I
different project or whatever. But yeah, it could
get
potentially
it.
could have been, yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
like so that's the thing is that we were picking from the first few results, which were obviously biased into whatever Google
Yeah.
was trying to have you do. But that's the thing is I was aware enough to know that maybe I had some leftist overlords or whatever, and I just want to keep my job. And what really confirmed this to me was I had a buddy who was doing this as well. I got him on board because it was lucrative. It was great.
Mhm.
And he was very particular. He was keeping his rate up, but he was really passionate about his fact checking. He cared about it. For some reason. And which good for him.
Well, it was
Eh,
all, like, so
Yeah,
much
and he got
politics that year.
he got fired. And I got to keep my job even though he was working harder than me. It was like, ugh, it was gross. But also notice that we were doing this for a client that wasn't Facebook. So what that
Yeah.
made me understand was that Facebook was basically outsourcing this to a third party who is then outsourcing it to us.
Wow.
So Facebook was basically paying these people for crowdsourced low wage whatever,
Mhm.
just like
Information. Yeah.
it wasn't high quality. The fact checking wasn't high quality, but I think
Of
as
course not.
well people also need to understand that like when you get as big as Facebook, when you get as big as Twitter, you have to maybe outsource things to a thousands of minimum wage workers because otherwise it's unmoderatable.
Well,
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's
I don't think that Mark Zuckerberg or even really much of the board of Facebook or I guess Meta, I don't know when they became Meta, at that time I don't think they had any idea what was going on with any of that. They're in their
They knew
own
that they were
bubble.
using a third party. They probably had no idea that it was just a bunch of drudge worker, anybody like
Mhm.
literally anybody could have done it.
Guys that would come on this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, but
Like,
like, but that's the thing is like anybody could have done it. I mean, it was literally like one of the premier jobs for like somebody's mom at home who wanted to work from home. Like it was,
Yeah.
but again as well, it was low effort, low quality because the
yeah,
standards were bare minimum and it was obviously biased. So
you're probably like one of the better guys that was doing it, and you're like, okay, I'm within a box, and I have to, not get outside this box, but I'm still getting the work done just kind of as a drone. There were
yeah,
people less performing than you doing this, or I
yes,
dare I say,
absolutely,
probably activists, you know,
absolutely,
on the other
absolutely,
thing. So it was kind
absolutely.
of a bias sample size of you were rats, and it was a bunch of they got that's fucking weird. I mean, I guess we always knew that was happening. It's just we always assumed that it was a fucking computer doing it, and you were the
Well, I didn't even
predecessor to the.
assume that. I thought it was like I don't know who I thought it was. I never thought about it.
Right,
I thought it
right. You
was
never think
had
about it. Yeah,
something like some connection to because it was always the same as the media propaganda. I thought there was some connection there. I just never even like thought about the actual people physically putting the information in.
You
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
you think about when they were like Facebook fact checkers say getting Facebook fact checkers is getting rid of Facebook fact checkers is wrong, which was like almost a real headline I can pull up. Hold on.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
I just assumed that was a group of like 100 people, but it was probably
Yeah.
thousands of people.
Thousands of
So yeah,
people
I
looking
thought it
at
was a
posts as they come
niche
in, like,
curated group at the least.
Yeah,
there's too much going on for it to be a small group.
Yeah.
So, I think, what it is it gets a whole lot more sinister, I'll tell you here in a second, but, again, a lot of what we were doing at crowdsourcing jobs was training an AI to replace us because they don't pay 1,000 people $11 an hour or an AI does it automatically. And
Yeah.
that's why now on Facebook, a lot of moderation is automated. You say the wrong word, they just get rid of you. Like,
Mhm.
they don't, these things are just too big without enough manpower. And again, that's expensive. Payroll for thousands and thousands of people just to spy on everybody. Like we're not that worried about it.
well, they still do that bullshit though, because Amazon, Whole Foods, Bezos, they had to shut down the hey, you don't have to check out stores that they had opened because it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
a computer like tracking everything. It was
Oh
just
yeah, it was a
thousands
camera
of
and a person. Yep.
Indians.
Yep. Yep.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
It was just thousands of Indian employees, and they were like,
Yep.
"Look at how advanced this is." Well, that's just guys watching a screen.
I thought it was like a computer and like RFID chips or
Right,
something.
right, which is
Yep.
But
scary.
that's not financially feasible, putting
Nope,
chips in everything.
nope, you could just keep people in poverty, and, yeah, yeah, give them
Oh
a
yeah,
computer.
that's the thing is that's why I think a lot of this crowdsourcing is being outsourced to India because like again, you can pay them so much less and there's 1.5 billion Indians and only like 300 million Americans.
Okay, in defense of this, because I have to come to defense of capitalism real quick, I don't like the outsourcing. However, the wages kinda make sense because if I went over there right now, I can buy Taj Mahal or whatever the fuck I don't know where Taj Mahal is. I could be doing pretty good over there with how little money I have.
Buy
That's
the entire Taj Mahal, I'm sure.
the ch I couldn't even buy I could get the Trump Taj Mahal. I would put Trump on it if I
It
could.
okay, but the problem there is, like, they
It's
do
not great.
have an upper class.
Sure, and guess what? They're just they're doing great because they live in India, and then they come over here and they open a goddamn hotel. It's a Motel 6 or they open a gas station,
Oh,
and good for them, but, the problem is they're moving into these tech jobs, and they're bad at the tech jobs.
Yeah.
"Hey, have you heard about the fucking Windows 11 start bar?"
yeah,
Uh,
literally designed in JavaScript on
it's
what was it, React? It was basically an Android mobile framework. Right. So
yep.
why teach anybody how to program a sophisticated language when there's like a billion Indians who all went into Android app development that know JavaScript.
Yep.
It's like, so now our operating systems and all this new software is being built on like
Ass.
low effort mobile code, you know.
It's the whole world's becoming ass. But yeah, I didn't know that I was and I'm not the biggest computer guy. I mean, I'm old, so I know my way around, but yeah, that was a frustrating thing to hear.
Man, this is like learning about the tubes
It's not
and the
a
lines, the wires going
oh,
through the
oh yeah.
ocean. Like,
Oh
this
yeah,
is
She
like
does
that.
yup. It's all fake. Yup.
she
Yeah.
doesn't know that the internet's a series of tubes and that they send packages through them.
Yup.
Yeah, it's
I
about the tubes and about the wires under the ocean. Like,
Sure,
every
big
time I
wires.
learn something new about how these things work, I get more agitated. Just in general, like, as a base like, my baseline state, how I
But
live.
Lee, am I fucking wrong? The
huh.
internet is a bunch of tubes they send packages through, and sometimes, some of the packages don't get through and they get all
It's
jumbled up and clogged.
they literally call them packets of data.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I mean, I
I
just
don't
learned
like it.
this in my Cisco class.
Yeah, I don't like
Oh, you
You
took
know,
Cisco?
the first part of the first it's a three-parter right now. I'm in college right now for cybersecurity. It's a 2-year degree kind
Nice.
of thing. So
Oh,
Hell yeah,
that's
dude.
great.
That's sweet. Yeah,
That's a good job.
well, it may be. I don't
well,
know. It might
if
replace
an
it with
Indian or computer doesn't take it from me, I
yeah, I
mean,
was gonna there's
Well,
there's so many ways
it's
that could go bad, but
they
yeah.
it sounds to me like they have to have someone to corral all the Indians for now,
Cool. Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
yeah, that
They got guys that are never gonna retire that are Gen Xers, so,
somebody
yeah.
customer facing. They need customer facing people.
Yeah, it's hell, I could do that. I could be like, "Listen, I
Man,
promise we're gonna get all these Indians under control." Uh,
I'm I don't like this about the Facebook content moderation, but I'm not surprised at all.
Oh,
Um,
but it gets worse. So they advertised that we had a wealth of work. So like usually projects let you know that, hey man, this only lasts 3 months, 6 months. Uh it lasts as long as the work's coming in. They're like, man, we've got work on work, months of work.
mhm.
The very moment that Joe Biden was elected, it all dried up just like that. Gone.
Of course.
I was financially invested in it, but what that also told me was that like, wow, I Biden got elected. That they're satisfied. I was basically pushing.
That's what
It
you did?
was yeah. I basically helped Biden get elected for $11 an hour, and it's like, oh
you bastard.
I
yeah, it's
can't
like, oh
believe this.
no,
Of all people.
yeah. It's I almost like I didn't realize that it was
No, of
that
You
course not.
do you know how
biased.
much
That really that was the final what they call it, the final red pill.
do
Like
you know
Oh, I
what
can
how much
imagine, man.
pain and strife you caused all of us?
The
yeah.
entire nation.
I- I've
You
had that's
son of a bitch.
the bad guys are often just low wage workers working.
Yeah, that's
What is
no.
it? Evil triumphs when good men do nothing.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much. Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, man,
Why didn't
that's
you
Uh,
you. You're the good man who did
why
nothing.
didn't you say
I
the N word, bro?
like bring it all down,
You
poison the
coulda
machine.
that would've you should have just taught all that stuff to say the N word.
Well, but that's what they were doing with captchas back in the day on 4chan. The second half of the captcha was you could put anything in because it was training image recognition for text. So
Mm.
people were just
Mhm.
putting in the N word, and it was poisoning Google's
Oh,
like
no.
early algorithm.
Oh, shit, I think I remember that. That was pretty funny.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
that's I think nerds are the most hilarious guy I always just follow their lead. They're like, "Oh, if you just, really fuck up this thing," I'm always on
Yeah.
board. Every single time, I'm always on board. I'm typing the N word in the captchas. I'm trying to fuck up shits for Indians.
I
Um,
mean, if you remember the capture, the "He will not divide us," capture the flag kind of thing with Shia LaBeouf,
Mhm.
yeah,
uh,
Oh, I remember it
that
faggot.
should let you
well.
that should let you know. Listen to the autists because they can look at the clouds in the background of a
Well, you
picture
can't.
and
Well,
tell
you
where
can't.
you're at. Like,
Yeah, but you can't now because they're all fucking trans or feds.
well, you know,
We live in a different time, bro.
yeah, you know, it's I,
All of
you
our
know,
all of our all of our autistic Asperger's agents are spread along weird divided lines across the internet where they won't talk to each other. And thank God that they won't talk to me because, quite frankly, if you're autistic, you're fucking weird. And I've never wanted to talk to you. But if you got a good idea, I'll help. I'll make Pitbull perform in Alaska. I think that's fun. I did that. You
I
know.
think they'd love Abby's Sonic OC. Like, I think they'd have a lot to talk about.
Oh, yes. I've
Sorry.
been trying to get people to it's good promotion. Get some autists in here. Maybe they'll actually send us some Dear Abbies. It'd
Okay,
be great. They don't
You
care.
guys talk about that. I'm gonna pee, and then I still have
Oh,
questions, but
goodness
I'm
gracious.
peeing. It's pee time for
We're not gonna talk
it's
about
pee time for Mr. P. That's what they say.
Mr. P.
Mr. P. Yep.
I hope he meant like as in Mr. Urine, not like Mr. Proctor.
Who?
Nothing. Mr. P. Mr. P. Oh my goodness. Okay, well now we can't talk about the stuff
No.
because he's not here. We can talk about my Sonic OC.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have some of those as a teenager.
Oh, did
It,
you?
I mean, I really liked Sonic, but it wasn't like the autists were like spectacle. You know, Chris Chan was all spectacle. It was all fun. It was like, yeah, I really like these fast blue hedgehog games, but this fan
Yep.
base, man, woo!
Oh, yeah, the fan base is horrible. It's funny though because I was a teenager with a GameCube, and the good GameCube games were like what? Like Spider-Man
Yep,
2
I
and
had,
Sonic
yep, had that,
Heroes,
yep, had that, yep,
Sonic Adventure, and like
uh
maybe
huh.
Mario Party and stuff. But
I had those, but on the Xbox. Uh, during that
yeah, the
era.
Mario,
Not Mario
which
Party,
ones?
not
Oh,
Mario
yeah, the
Party,
Sonic ones. Yeah,
but the
yeah, yeah.
Sonic and the what's the other game listed? The
So Sonic Adventure, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 2. There was one on the Dreamcast that I
oh, so,
played.
yeah. Dreamcast was probably Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2.
Mhm.
No, but yeah, I mean,
I really liked those, and
I
I
had
didn't get
Shadow the
on.
Hedgehog.
Oh, yeah, me too.
that was a trip. That was a
It
trip.
was good. I loved all those games because it was fun, and I wasn't allowed
You
out of the
guys just
house. I've talked about that on the show, whatever, a long
Oh
time
you
yeah,
listeners
guys
you
just
know,
understand.
talking about games
But,
without me.
like, we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh,
Excuse me.
gay,
Shush.
gay,
Just this is
gay,
bu we're
gay.
busy. We're talking about important things.
you
But
know,
anyway,
that's funny.
I didn't get on the internet until I was an adult, technically, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
so it took me a while to learn it. For a little bit, I thought for a couple years there, I didn't go anywhere except for, like, Facebook, and, like, if I
right.
needed to Google something and to pay bills, but I didn't ever touch anything else for a while, and then
S
it was mom forums. So when I eventually encountered like, I heard about Chris Chan for the first time in, like, 2018 or 2019 or something like that. Yeah,
Okay,
I was
so
shocked. I was like,
just
"Oh, no."
hold on, just real quick before we get back
What?
into this, I just want to say it's going down June 14th. Orlando Bait Bros got the Bukkake Bait Sesh popping, and I'm the one taking the shots. Mask up, nut up, meet me here. We not leaving till I'm soaked.
Yeah, don't visit that dude's page, by the way. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
just a heads up,
that's
like,
my endless throat on. But
No, no, that was a Bryden. Bryden is saying that this is going to happen to him on June
oh,
14th.
Well,
yeah. Mm.
I sent the best tweet. I said these advertisements getting scary. How does it know where I'm going to be on June
Yeah.
14th? But yeah, no, that's in the bonus. I guess now it's ruined. So continue, League. I can't hear them talk about Sonic.
Yeah. But anyway, we can get back on topic now.
Sorry.
Uh, so yeah,
You're at Facebook.
I guess we can get into, yeah. So I mean,
Biden
you
was
know that,
elected.
yeah. So I guess we can, and that was that. I mean, that screwed me over big time too, because it was just like
That was the end of your
suddenly
work.
well, Yeah, I actually ended up not working for that company for a long time after that because there wasn't ever good work on it really again. Like it just
So it was
it
as soon as Biden got elected, it just they were like, "We no longer need you to do this confined,
yeah.
kind
Yep.
of analysis."
As like the day after like they were confident about there being a ton of work. And then suddenly the day after it started drying up and they're like, "Hey guys, client just stopped sending us work." Like
So they didn't know even.
yeah, yeah, they had no idea that I think there were multiple layers to the deception.
Yeah, I mean, there's gotta
Yeah.
be, and a lot of it probably came from Media Matters, which I think is already known now. It's
That might
just
have been the I think that was the group. I think that
yeah.
was the group that we were doing it for was Media Matters.
Yeah, Brock, what's his face over at, Media Matters, hold on, he's got crazy hair, he's a gay man. Uh,
His name is Brock.
yeah, if I
That's
remember
quite the name.
correctly, Media Matters, Brock. Oh, yeah, David Brock. Yeah, over at, Media Matters.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yep. Yeah, he
he's a
has
real piece of
gay
shit.
CEO hair.
Yeah, no, I love his hair, but, I mean, this one, he looks like fucking George Washington, it's fucking incredible,
Oh
but,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, no, David Brock's a real piece of shit, Media Matters is fucking crazy, but, he's got The Fox Effect, 2012, yeah, I really
Why has he
should
got
read
his hair
that
like
book.
that? Wow.
I mean, I don't know, I mean, people got a style, but yeah, The Fox Effect, How Roger Ailes Turned a Network into a Propaganda Machine is probably a largely factual book, except it comes from David Brock.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Well, it's all propaganda machines. That's all the media is.
yeah, it's weird that listen, it's not a political show. We don't got to get into that. Um, yeah, they fired Tucker. Fuck Roger Ailes. Listen, I don't know. All right, but goddamn, he looks like fucking like he looks like Ben Franklin, bro.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yes.
hate Benjamin Franklin.
Pussy, pussy,
He's a perv. He's a
Benny
weird
Frank.
perv. He didn't do anything
He did
worth
tons of shit.
noting. No, he didn't. He stole
He
everything and he
slept with the
slept with
right people
French
in French.
horse.
Yeah, yeah, and that won us the war.
Yeah, it was fucking sweet when he
Some
banged all
I
those
don't know
ladies.
why it was so helpful, but clearly somebody thought it would be helpful for him to just go over there and whore.
He
But
schmoozed the French,
Yeah,
dude.
and then
What are
the
you
French
talking about?
came and the French ships literally won us the war.
Yeah,
you're
dude,
right.
he
Fine.
schmoozed the
Okay,
fucking French.
whatever.
They sent
Benjamin
they sent
Franklin.
Adams over there, and then the French were like, "Get this
Yeah.
little fucking queer out of here and
Well,
get us Ben Franklin right now."
because Adams was a real politician.
Jesus fucking
He didn't know
Christ,
how to
kill
speak French
yourself.
though, you know.
Yeah, he didn't know how to fucking get
Did you have a
drunk and
problem with
suck on
John
tits.
Adams?
Yeah, pretty much, you know, the
You're right. John Adams was not for the French. That's whatever. I think I hate the French, and
Benny
Benjamin Franklin
Frank.
is too French for me.
Benjamin Franklin fucking rules. He was the oldest, he was the fattest, and he was like, "We ought to make the fucking national bird the turkey." And he was right. He
his
was the
legs didn't
best.
work for like half the war either.
Bro, he was the
Yeah.
Like
best. He didn't fight in a war. He was just like, you know what'd be fun? Revolution. He's the best guy.
Yep. He was just like a rabble rouser and then went off to sleep with a horse.
Dude, seriously, he's the
That's what
best
he
guy.
did.
He's the
Okay,
fucking Hunter
fine.
S. Thompson of the revolution.
yeah, our founding principles. You gotta understand, like this is what our nation was built on.
Exactly. Turkeys and
Oh my,
banging whores.
oh my
Are you
goodness.
serious? We
That's
have a whole
harsh.
holiday
I
about
don't
that. The turkey
You're
part.
right. You're probably right. Okay. That's fine.
And most of our other holidays are kind of about banging whores too.
What? Which ones?
I don't know. St.
Uh,
Patrick's Day?
No, it's not.
It's
St.
kinda.
Patrick's Day has nothing to do with banging
It's
horse.
a
The
little.
dude, no, he set
a
people on
little.
fire, Bryden.
4th of
That's what St.
July.
Patrick's Day is
4th
about.
4th of July is one.
Hey, they weren't people; they were pagans. Let's get that straight.
That's also true.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
See, those were the
Well,
communists
okay,
of their
wait.
time.
That's
I
what they
can't.
mean by chasing the snakes out of Ireland.
Into
Yeah,
It
the
was
no, I
pussy of
know.
whores.
I remember when I was being raised pagan and I went to Sunday school with my Christian friend on St. Patrick's Day. It was
raised pagan. Wow, deep lore, deep lore.
Yeah, you gotta
deep
listen to
lore.
the fucking show. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
You know her mom's a pirate? It's fucking
Okay.
crazy, dude.
Oh,
She's
word?
a
She
very
had
good pirate.
she
She
had a
has an eye
stroke.
patch and everything.
Uh,
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's not as cool, you know.
No, no,
Like,
no,
she got
it's
a traumatic brain injury, and with the strokes, she lost one of her eyes, it's
yeah,
dead, so
she
she has
did.
an eye patch, and she
She's retarded now.
likes okay, look, okay,
It's
this
really
is
funny.
sounding this is not the way you tell
It's
it, so
super
that
funny.
it's
It's super funny.
Bryden.
What? I laughed? You know that I laugh about it. She's got this, like, retard mom who, like, hated her, and then she, like, had a stroke, and then now her mom, like, doesn't remember her, but when she does, she, like, likes
No,
her.
that's not
It's
true.
it's
I'm
pretty
the
funny.
only one she remembers.
Yeah, no, you didn't let me finish the story.
Oh, God.
Now when she sees her, she, like, likes her, like, for the first time in her entire life. It's really funny.
Don't all parents do that? They just conveniently forget your trauma
No.
or whatever the hell
No,
they
no,
inflicted, like
no, I don't think that all parents' heads explode and they become fat, retarded
well
retards.
you know, that you know.
Look, it's hard because I'm sitting here like, we can't be this harsh about a poor person with traumatic brain injury, and then I remember, wait, it's her.
Yeah, it's your mom. She's a person who
Yeah.
made you stare at candles because you were
Look,
magical.
oh. Like, I was the chosen one, and I had magical powers, and if I just stayed in there a few more hours, maybe I could have ignited the wick.
Look,
That's
I've still got questions for Lee.
That is incredible parenting. You just convince them, wow, you wouldn't have to watch you for hours. You stared at the wall for
but
Uh,
my siblings didn't have to do it.
no, because,
you were the
because
chosen one
I
or the
was the
yapper or
chosen
whatever.
one.
I don't either, you know.
no, it's because her sister's a goddamn fucking bipolar meth head, and, yeah, there you
Son
go.
of a god. Okay. Lee doesn't
Yeah.
know the backstory, so this just sounds insane to
Yeah, but
him.
everybody else is loving it, but, yeah,
I
you oughta
don't
go
know. I
listen to
don't
the
know if
backstory.
it might sound insane, but it also explains a lot.
Oh,
You know,
You have no idea.
it took 3 years to get to this. I'm actually a saint and a good person for helping Abby work through this stuff with her mother, because she's like, "Oh, we shouldn't say these things about my mother," and I'm like, "Well, what about all the other things your mother did?" And then now she just has to work it through her stupid head so I can ask you these questions. You were doing YouTube moderation during Elsagate.
yes,
Yes, that's
yes.
important because
Let's
that
get
was a
Can
into the meat of
huge
that. Yes.
thing. That was all over, Twitter, at least, and there were tons of podcasts covering it at the time.
I covered it. I covered it on Ride to
Yes,
Bryden.
Bryden Bryden covered it, everyone was covering it.
Because I never okay, here's my analysis of Elsagate, and Lee, you can help me with this.
Okay.
Um, I could not because I'm skeptic, you know, I could not get to, is this some sinister bullshit, or is it some type of YouTube had recently changed, uh, how it did its algorithms, and this was just some engagement farming stuff. I'm My conclusion was that it was a little mix of both, but probably more to the latter. I think that it was mostly just it caught on and you thought this is a way that guys like me would go and watch these videos after a while. And it was is this
Yeah.
content or with something that I upload, every week? Is this content for kids? I click no. But if you did yes, you could do some weird, creepy stuff and you could maybe make some money. I don't know how much of it was actually truly Mexican cartel satanic, sinister.
So as from my so from my perspective, it was not one. There was not one actor behind it. I could tell there were multiple motivations for why people were putting out this kind of content. Um, to give it a little backstory first, or to frame how, not backstory, but to frame how the workflow went.
Mhm.
Um, I would be presented a YouTube video. They let me know that it was for YouTube Kids moderation, and I would have to watch the video, which was painful because you gotta realize that I'm not watching all the fun stuff. I'm watching the nursery rhymes, the
Oh,
Coco
yeah.
Melons,
Baby
the
shark do
off-brand
do do do
Coco.
do do, baby shark do
But
that's a banger still.
what people don't
It
understand
is.
about Baby Shark is that the tune for Baby Shark was ripped off from a different, like,
It's a
pre-Coco
Mexican thing.
Melon,
Yeah, it's,
uh
daddy finger, blah, 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 daddy
something,
yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
then
like an old campfire song.
but
No,
there were they made a billion different YouTube videos, all of the same tune, just
yeah,
changing the words, and it was maddening. But Baby Shark caught on. I don't know what it was about Baby Shark, but Baby Shark caught on.
Dude, my kids loved it. We were singing it around the house. It didn't annoy me or my husband at all. It's just a cute little
yeah, but
Yeah,
if you hear it
song.
for 12 hours a day, it's probably pretty bad. But
y-
like I
and
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
on a musical level, do
Uh,
do 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 do
yep.
do 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 do. To me, that's great. I could do that for a long time. Uh, it's kind of a perfect thing, but now
Well,
it's
then you go
ruined.
from that to, and
yeah,
the
yeah,
ants go marching one by one. Hurrah,
Wait, I can mix
hurrah.
that. Hold on. Baby shark, I could mix that. I could do it. I know it. It would
but
be great.
what's it? There was like a whole what was big during the time as well was like a lot of like bare minimum, like, so this was like the peak of like Spider-Man Elsa content. That's what every little girl wanted Spider-Man, or Elsa, every little boy wanted Spider-Man.
Mhm.
So a lot of the videos were like bare minimum, catch the tags and algorithm, because you also have to understand how kids watch YouTube Kids. A lot of parents will sit their kids in front of YouTube Kids and it will just play automatically to the next video, play
Yep.
automatically and automatically. Or the kids left alone with the remote. I mean, there's videos of kids who don't know how to speak, but they know how to turn on Coco Melon. And so the child, that's the thing, that's where I'll get into with one of the motivations. The shocking thumbnails were because children were left alone. And if a child sees something that they know is they're probably not supposed to be looking at,
Oh shit, yeah.
or is a little
Mhm.
Yeah,
weird
like the
or
Joker.
shocking or gross,
Yeah.
they'll click on it. It's clickbait for kids, right?
Yeah.
And then because it's a thumbnail's crazy. They get adults too, and then people share it around. It's like, oh my god! But as well, you have
Smart.
to look at like the people behind these videos, um, because a lot of these people, you gotta look.
Was it the Podestas or was it like a guy like me who was like, dude, you know what we can do? I got a Joker mask. This is fucking crazy.
Well, if you notice, a lot of them, they were in a third world country, sometimes in the
Mhm.
middle of the jungle. They got their costumes, and all they do is literally run around the house
Yeah.
and maybe say some things to the camera or whatever. It's all like enough to fill the time slot, get the ads in there, bare minimum tags to, satisfy the algorithm, so that their video has a high chance to autoplay when kids are just
Man.
being sat in front of it.
So it
So it's the
was
same thing as what's been happening on X that they just recently tried to put a stop to by halting like payments in India for blue checks, where they just make a post and then all pile on and comment on each other's posts and
Yep,
stuff. Like they're literally just generating money. It's just third worlders generating money.
which I can't
exactly.
blame him
And
for. I
and
that's
like some of these people weren't third world. You could tell they were like in the US, but you could also tell like by just looking at like kind of like the
well,
state of their
didn't
home.
wha
They were just people. It's people trying to get out of poverty mostly, from what I've seen. Like,
I'm sorry I keep interrupting you, but,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what I do. Uh, didn't Joey Salads, did a channel like that to prove that anybody could do that, if I remember correctly. It was somebody, some
That sounds like
YouTuber like that did
yeah.
that.
I mean, well, but you gotta also understand the collaboration that people may have thought there was may have simply been that there was a big Discord or something
No.
that because
Yeah.
YouTubers have these discords. There's YouTuber discords where they share tips with each other. How do you get the right thumbnails? How do you get the algorithm? What do you put in your video? Like,
We were told recently, not actually, hold on, let me read this. And I'm not gonna say who, but he's gonna, hear this and laugh. So a friend of ours, apparently, and I'm thankful to him, has like shared our show in another
Mhm.
Discord, and the guy said, "Serious questions. Your podcast friend trying to make something with this show?" And he goes, "Like what?" This guy goes, "Like trying to build an audience." And he goes, "Well, yeah, I guess." But he'd like that sort of thing to happen organically, which is something that through all of my streaming years and podcasting stuff, I've been pretty adamant about is that it should happen organically. It shouldn't happen with wacky thumbnails or forced
Right, right.
marketing, which is probably why I'm not successful. Plus, I'm not talented. But then this guy goes, he's doing a shit job. As in, I have no clue what the channel is about, no descriptions, no thumbnails, nothing. And he has a chick on the show, which makes him look like a simp. Like,
Yep.
why would anyone click on this channel and watch his stuff? It's the most piss poor presentation I've ever seen.
It's crazy too because how does he look like a simp when all he does is torture me and scream at me and
I
I
and
don't
prank me and
that's kind of
stuff?
a weird observation. I don't
I'm
know how that
I
makes
being
him
don't
look.
know.
I don't even know
Uh,
why I'm here. I'm being bullied and tortured.
Well, please, Abby, can we do the
on your own podcast channel.
podcast another week,
Sorry.
please?
Fine.
Ugh, I hated that. We're not doing the podcast ever again.
Finally, I can leave. I
Do
don't know,
not
there's, like,
laugh.
some weird, like, magic, some black magic on the internet,
They
like,
call me
just
that.
the internet is inherently black magic.
No, they call me Black Magic.
I can't
Oh,
escape.
No, it's
It's because of my eating disorder turning me into a skeleton and Bryden becoming a necromancer.
that's true. I am
mm.
a I'm a necromancer, but we are, you know,
Close enough. Okay, so tell us more about the Elsa Gate. Sorry.
No, 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 that's that's what here to help us for. But
To help me, apparently.
yeah, absolutely. But what's it? No, but it wasn't just people trying to like the content that I had to watch was like a lot of it was mind numbing because as well they had that Coco Melon formula of the brightest colors possible and
Mhm.
nursery rhymes and like the worst videos was this one channel would make these giant multicolored slides in GTA 5 and then they would
what?
just ragdoll the Marvel superheroes down the slides and have monster trucks just smashing into everything and like
Okay,
it
what
was
you're describing sounds pretty cool.
yeah, but imagine if it was designed to keep a child in a trance.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
so what you do is instead you just change it to an MGM that MGMT song, and you just flash Hitler every now and then, and that's all of my fucking timeline from these jackasses.
Pretty yeah, yeah,
Well,
it's
what about the specifically the ones that were being talked about the most back when this
Like
was
the
a big
rapes and
oh
story
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
gotten
was
to those.
it was like
So
there was sexual stuff and like butt
absolutely. So
pregnancies.
well, so like another big thing. So a lot of that is a lot more apparent now on YouTube and Roblox.
Oh,
You can kind
Roblox
of
is
see,
really bad. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, I mean you can see it now a lot. So one thing a pedophile knows is where children congregate,
Oh, I
Yep.
just wanna real quick
unsupervised.
I just
Oh
wanna
yeah, that's why they are always there. Yep.
I just want to go ahead and real quick and point out I need to check for sure, but I'm pretty sure I made a little money on it when it launched. But Roblox is a publicly traded company, by the way. Just so people know the
Okay.
severity of what is going on with Roblox, versus the ramifications of what's happened with Roblox. Let's see,
I'm not even sure what
RB.
Roblox is.
It's a kids game. It's for smaller kids
I played it in
than Fortnite.
2007, so that should tell you how old it is. It's basically it has basically programming built in. It lets Joe
It's
Schmo
really
any kid
creative.
basically build their own games. Remember, when I was a kid, this guy actually dropped out of high school because he was making enough money off of Roblox.
It's pretty creative. I mean, like
But now it's just scamming kid. Now it's just microtransactions and games that might disappear tomorrow. So really, it's just like scamming kids for like fake like
Robux. Yeah.
swag. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still doing really good. I should probably get back into Roblox, but Lethal Company, which is an astounding game that had big success. Big success, uh, was a furry Roblox game programmer. So,
Yeah.
Roblox has worth, and I think that, the market sees that. And, hell, over the past year, it's up a lot. I it's pretty great. It's pretty great as an idea, But yeah, it's basically a pedophile farm.
Yeah,
Roblox is
and
trouble. Don't let your kids play
Leah's
Roblox.
Leah's right about pedophiles know where kids go. I mean, that's why you have so many school teachers and priests and counselors and
Yeah,
like foster
what will get you
parents.
alone with a child? What will
Yeah,
get you in a position of authority alone with a
the
child, you know?
amount of I remember reading this stat and I don't have it. I can't prove it.
So
Whatever. It doesn't
hold
matter.
on
We're
real
on an
quick
entertainment podcast. But what?
Before Abby says this. I'm glad that she finally agrees with me that women and Catholics shouldn't be allowed to be around kids. Sorry, go
The
ahead.
women in um
I saw the best meme the other day. It was like the, the either or like button thing, and it was a late, it was a public school teacher, and it was turn him gay or have sex with him in a parking lot.
oh no.
Um,
It's so true, so
yeah,
true.
it's pretty
But yeah,
bad.
so they become public school teachers and stuff, but also the instances of sexual abuse in foster care are so high that so
Heartbreaking.
many
Yeah,
of those kids would have been better just being left with the crackheads. And I
Yeah.
literally someone asked me one time, I was criticizing the way CPS often operates and the way there's like not enough checks and balances there. And someone asked me, like, wouldn't you have rather have been taken from your horrible parents when you were a kid? And I said, no, I knew kids in foster care. They had it just as bad, if not worse.
yeah, they
I
get
did
raped.
not want to go to foster care. Oh, there was no love in the houses where they were being abused. You know what I mean? There was nothing to soften it.
You know what's a sad thing? And
Anywho,
I have never said this on the show or probably anywhere, but it just occurred to me. But uh, so Abby, you know that like we used to take care of retards. Like my mom would like do
yep,
respite and like a little foster stuff like that. Um, they weren't terrible to him, but they did. That whole no love thing hit me a little different. They were treated different,
yeah.
and I also was mad that they were in my house, so I was kind of a fucking dickhead to them.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, okay, so one friend I had,
Not all the time,
she
but
wasn't abused, but they were collecting the checks and like she would ask for something and they would say, "Oh, you're getting uppity. Why don't you have your boyfriend sleep over?" This girl was 14.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they literally just did not even want to speak to her.
that's sad.
And her
See,
boyfriend was 18.
Yeah.
that's not good. 14, 18. Well, what year was it?
That's literally illegal.
Hold on, what year was it though? We used to be
What
okay with
was
it.
this? 2008.
Oh yeah, we weren't okay with that then.
Yeah, not by '08.
Yeah. No, I mean if it was like 98, I would be like, okay, we were okay with
Nope, nope,
that.
nope.
But yeah,
I'm not that old. Nope, this
yeah.
is definitely when that is never gonna be okay.
I think
Yeah,
we were not cool with it in
yeah.
2008. I don't know.
But yeah, I just wanted to just that's one of my drums I like to beat. It's just you
That's
gotta be careful because people, not everyone in a position of authority over children is like that, obviously, but like
I think most
they're
aren't.
gonna be overrepresented.
Well, I just think most aren't. Yeah, it's like the goddamn pedophile because like seriously, and this is gay and it sucks. But like if I am ever finding a lost child, I have to start recording immediately.
Yes, because you're a man,
Yep.
and I'm glad that you understand that. That will save you a lot of trouble, and I understand that that maybe is frustrating for innocents, but man, we're talking about kids.
Yeah.
We're talking about kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, heck, I was walking through Walmart one time and, my buddy's kid really wanted to hold my hand, so we didn't look alike. And man, was I getting the,
Yep.
like, "Did you steal that kid" looks?
Yep.
yeah.
Like, it was
No.
rough,
You
man.
should be
Well,
like, actually, I'm from an interracial marriage, and now you're canceled.
no, yo, dads in interracial marriages get in trouble. Like
Oh, I'm
they get
sure.
people
Oh,
confront
yeah.
them in public.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
So yeah,
back to
we're
the
back to the Elsa
YouTube.
guy.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, so that's the thing, though, is that, like, there's that real big, like, pedophile angle, where a lot of these people as well, they're just kinda just sick and wanna expose sexual themes to children. That's a big part of it. I think it's a lot of that's on Roblox, is they really just it's kinda like sick, mad. Like they're trying to groom children with the content they put out.
Yep.
It's violent. I think a lot of it is, if it's people getting out of poverty, and I don't really, and then pedophiles. I don't really think there was like a much of a like
Satanic.
dark, concerted like group effort. Like it very much seemed to
Okay.
me.
Well, because it's I'm very concerned about some of the stuff online. This the Elsagate was before. Uh, what's is it 734? Uh, I've been concerned about them. They're in the news. But they're yeah, maybe it's 764. I don't know.
What are you talking about?
There's yeah, 764. I'm very concerned about these guys. I'm very concerned about like global and mainly more national organized satanic cults. Anybody that's concerned or anybody that's affiliated with the Order of the Nine Angles has been very concerning to me since Adam Waffen. Uh
Okay, let's move back to Elscape.
no, 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 no.
Well, I
This
do.
is no, no, no. You know about the Order of the Nine Angles?
Yeah, and I know about Adam Waffen. We need to get
But
back to.
they're satanic.
They
764
are. It's a
is
freaking problem.
exactly. 764 has been getting arrested over and over. Now they're just like it's kids basically. I think the oldest one was like 40, but like it was started by a 15-year-old kid. Um, it's
Sounds about right.
online satanic crap, and it's worrying. And I thought perhaps that that's maybe what Elsagate was about, but it wasn't at all organized. It was just
Well, so the only thing
poverty.
that I found that was kind of, yeah, third, because it's just slop to like, but like there was one thing that was maybe organized, and I'm not sure. See, they had these Russian made cartoons
Hmm.
that were like factory cartoons. They were
Who's their
like
bear over there that they like, the Russian bear?
Masha and the
Masha?
Bear is an excellent show.
no, they take like Paw Patrol or
Oh,
something. They
okay.
would make these
Mhm.
really cheap. They'd make cartoons cheap enough to pump out bunches of YouTube videos, but there was something really wrong with them. Like they were very violent. Like there'd be a point where maybe the dogs would literally start tearing each other up bloody, or like I remember this one Mickey Mouse nursery rhyme, and after every what would you call it, like chorus or stands or
Yeah.
whatever,
Stands.
Yep, yep.
the spiders would bust out of the walls, and it would take this really like it would scare a small child. Like
So then how do you classify that one then? Do you go like, "This is
it was
cool"?
well, but what was weird about that is there was a lot of like I think it was like the only thing I could assume with that was that there were different traumas for
Mm.
different people that they are trying to expose children to, that it like because like what why does there what is the benefit of
Oh my
Russian
god.
guy for these violent, like I
Because it
get
makes
the,
children trauma makes people easier to groom. It
Drama
literally
make
does in every
and
single
that's
way.
fair, and that's
or it could be or it could
probably
be
keeps them coming back to the channel,
or it could
like
That
be
too.
or it could be that it's East Russia. Drama make child strong. Grow up
I doubt
like
it.
bear.
well, it's that's the thing is I don't know what like trauma that they would be through that to want to have to show that through another child. Like there was obviously something there
But
that was
there was no obvious satanic, connection.
if there was, I
You didn't
mean,
catch it. Yeah.
I didn't catch it, because
Okay.
from what it seemed to me, there was a lot of just algorithm baiting.
So,
I was
Abby and I have a few different no, we largely agree on stuff, but I think we've got a few, hers is the aliens thing. Um, Mine is the satanic cabal of pedophile cultists that
It's not a
really
different thing.
I think it is.
That's the thing.
I think that they are hiding your information, but I don't think aliens are necessarily real. I think that they're among us and they live in the mountains and that, the lizards are doing the satanic shit.
right, right.
Right. So
The
that's
hierarchy.
it doesn't even matter. So that's the thing I think that people don't understand when I talk about it is that it doesn't really matter if it's aliens or not. The point is that things are being hidden and obfuscated. There have been The dating of the pyramids, for example, just very basic
Well, the
example.
Earth is only 2,000 years old, so
The
Regardless of
dating of
how
the pyramids is, like, hotly contested,
it's
yeah.
like
extremely hotly contested, but if you look at any, like, mainstream archaeological information on it, they wanna say that they're a lot younger than what they seem to be. Right? They could be 10,000 to 25,000 years old. There are other things that they're finding too. There's like other species, kind of like Neanderthals, right? So other hominid kind of type species, okay, that are kind of like us, but not quite, that were millions of years ago
And Abby
having
is
burial practices and stuff.
and
And this is
Abby is really
what
concerned about them because she is one of them, actually.
yes,
oh,
secretly. Um, anyway, there's a lot of things that just do not get taught unless you look for them, right? That you're only going to
yeah.
find with ancient astronaut theory
And I
or
could put
crazy conspiracy
and
people, and it
I
doesn't even matter if it's an alien or anything, okay? Doesn't matter if it's Atlantis, doesn't matter if there's people in the hollow earth, it doesn't matter if it's literally just a giant conspiracy to keep us in line, right? It's
it
something.
is a giant fucking conspiracy to keep us in line,
It
and
is
all of
baseline
this
that, but I mean, even if it's no, like, actual weird stuff like aliens or Atlantis or
well,
Well, I
whatever,
mean,
you know?
yeah,
it's
everything's a
Satanists.
psyop,
No,
everything's a psyop.
and also the Satanism is just connected to the Rothschilds anyway. All right. Satanism is a psyop. Everything's a goddamn psyop. But these people are a fucking problem and they've been bothering me lately because they popped up in the news again and they've always bothered me. And it bothers me with the Satanism. All right. Also,
Well,
given my
it all started
satanic
with the Balfour Declaration, but
get
continue.
given my satanic panic, if anybody wants to play, Dungeons and Dragons, hit me up because I'd really like to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Let's go.
Okay. So you don't think that there was some big conspiracy, but also, like, what is so the algorithm picks
Yeah,
up
it
the
yeah, bec
weird, like, Spider-Man getting Elsa pregnant videos naturally, even going through, like, the moderation and, like, because
well,
people are
so
sharing it
there
because
was
it's
too
crazy?
much. That's the thing is that,
Okay.
like, I don't think everything was moderated before it went out.
Right.
Um, YouTube can be moderated or it can be usable.
I
I think
prefer
it's like an either
usable.
or. Yeah,
Yeah.
so, like, things may have to get reported before they're brought to anybody's attention.
Yeah, that makes
You know what's
Um,
sense.
crazy? You know what's crazy? Speaking of moderator usable, when was the last? I don't know if you guys are subscribed to him, but I have been for years. When was the last time you saw a Steven Crowder video suggested to you? Right?
oh, no, not in a long
Sorry, he's
it's
completely right. He's totally shadow banned on there. I have not. I'll bet he's still on there. I'll bet I could check you, Steven Crowder. And as a result, I have, not just him being a fag. I, when was the last time I watched Steven Crowder? Steven Crowder. Boom. Yeah, he's still on there, bro. Almost 6 million subscribers, 5.69 million subscribers. Has all these sweet, oh, check out his sweet thumbnails. Abby, hold on. I'm going to screen cap
Oh,
it
the
for you. Oh,
thumbnails.
check out
Thank
his
you. Yeah,
sweet
we need
fucking
different
thumbnails.
there
Oh
is
my
a thumbnail,
God.
okay? And it's the beautiful logo that I hand drew
Oh,
to
look at
look
these
like
fucking
stitch
sweet.
work,
No,
okay?
look,
Wait,
check
Because
out
it's
what?
these
homey
sweet
and comfy.
thumbnails. Check out those sweet thumbnails of him being a fuck. Oh, it's his face. Be like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
I'm reacting to shit.
You know
Eat
what we
shit.
need to
I
do, Bryden, is
Arpad, I need you to tell that person, clip this and send it to them. You're a
God,
fucking fag
calm
in the
down.
clip. And just in the clip there. What
But
the
no, I think
fuck?
that what we should do is we should follow his advice and just I'll get Grok to generate a thumbnail every week.
Just that's fine. Do that. Literally do that.
I'll just
Literally do
tell it,
that.
generate a thumbnail
For
and give it a
that,
sentence or two.
yeah,
And, generate a picture that looks like
generate
bam.
a fucking goy slop ass thumbnail that some
Well,
fucking queer would like.
how many podcasts do you need to train on a model before you can just generate a here to help episode?
We
I
literally had
really
it.
wish somebody would do that,
No,
but the
no,
guy
we
who
we
we
we did.
had
He doesn't like me anymore because I made fun of Catholics, and apparently he converted to Catholicism and didn't tell me. And then it's been a
Oh,
year.
did
we
he leave his sense of humor behind? Like,
Yeah,
damn.
well,
I
that's
don't
what I said. I don't know. We had like a whole thing. It's he was being a real turd. I've
I
always been a
really liked him.
pessimist. Yeah, I like Niles too. I wish he'd come back. I like him.
I miss him, but he had a whole he had 2 versions of me. There was Robot Abby and regular Abby, and then he had Bryden. And he was, yeah, training it on our voices so that he could make it read our tweets and stuff. It was fun.
It
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. Hey, listen, I didn't do anything to that guy. I
He made my
literally
profile picture. The one here and on Twitter are AI recreations of me, like, as close as, we had he got really freaking
Oh, so
close
that one on
without
Twitter
seeing my
isn't even you.
face. No, 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 but it's so close that a couple of my friends texted me after I started using it and said, like, "You're basically doxing yourself.
yeah.
Why are you using a picture so close to
That
you?"
was
And,
that
like,
was
that's
that was all
yeah.
based on my descriptions of her on the
Yes.
podcast.
He's never seen my face.
Uh, well, I
It was
have.
Wow.
crazy good.
Oh,
Anyway,
Niles.
I miss
So your
him.
nose doesn't look like that.
My nose is a lot more
No, it's
impressive.
it's
It's
it's it's
very
bad. She
angular, it's
calls it
larger
Wow.
and longer.
she calls it impressive. It's stupid. She's
It's
describing her nose the way
magnificent.
that I describe my dick, dude. She's a fucking liar. All right, it looks like
My
shit.
nose is bigger, probably. I wouldn't know.
Wow. 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 Okay. All right.
But no, that was all based on the way I described her on the podcast. But that's
It's pretty good.
no, it's I don't know where Niles. I want to give this out to Niles. I don't know if he's ever
Yep.
going to listen to this. Please come back. I don't know. I didn't know you converted to Catholicism.
Okay, don't
You
say it in
know,
that
well, I didn't
tone.
know that. Well, no, so I'll give you the. He was an asshole. It's in the fucking Bryden chat. You can fucking read it. I didn't do anything wrong. All I said was the Catholic Church is filled with goddamn pedophiles. And then he goes, "Well, you would," referencing an article, and he was like, "Well, you wouldn't say that about public schools." And I'm like, "They're also filled with goddamn pedophiles." I don't get it because he was a nihilist type of guy, as well, a pessimist, a terror management theory dude,
Yeah,
and then he just fucking flipped on me. So I don't know.
it's gonna be all right. We should move back to the topic at hand.
No, Niles. If you wanna stop being a goddamn baby, I'd like to talk to you again, you faggot. Other than that, go to hell. Go have fun with Catholicism, jackass.
I think we have now called out 4 people this episode. It's going
Good, I
well.
got more. Who wants it's
Yep.
listen,
I,
the
I,
night
Brian's
is
ready to
young.
fight.
yep.
He's
The
ready
Here
to
to Harm
fight today.
podcast. You know.
I got so much time to talk about people I'm mad about.
So we need to rebrand the podcast to Here to Fight You specifically.
We oughta call the podcast the N word.
No, would
It'd
that
be
be good or
good.
bad for the algorithm, Lee?
Well, that's the thing is one thing I noticed about all of our guidelines for how we would basically rate each bit of content was very blatantly advertiser guidelines. So I got to read like I had to become familiar with the advertiser guidelines. And like it's so stringent that like
Who runs the
you
advertising agencies? That's interesting. Go ahead.
well, you know.
It's
But
probably
Look,
whi
anyway,
it's probably
Bryden.
old white men, right? You know?
Yes.
So tired of
but
old white men.
you could tell that like there were sometimes you couldn't even talk of a like some situations you couldn't even bring up because they were politically charged
Ah.
even if they like
Let's talk about Israel and Palestine, eh? Let's get
right
into it.
like exactly it's like but like the thing is like you probably couldn't even mention
The best thing those dirty bastards have ever done?
Oh my goodness gracious me. Can we move back to I've lost complete control of the show.
You never had
well
control, I am the puppet
Not
master.
once. Not for a minute. Not even 3 years ago.
I am Dick Cheney.
Oh no. Oh, no, I knew it! This whole time! I've been had.
Sorry, keep going.
Well, don't go. Well, don't go on any hunting trips. That's all.
Oh, man, I would love to, I just have somebody apologize after I shot him. That was the craziest moment of that era. Not 9/11. It was Dick Cheney shooting a man in the face and him going, "My bad about that."
Yep.
That
Speaking
rules.
of shooting people in the face, don't you think it's time we forgive Alec Baldwin already? Because,
No.
like, I've been watching
I think
30
in order to
Rock.
forgive Alec Baldwin, we'd have to like Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, he's an
Okay,
asshole.
I've been
Listen,
watching 30 Rock a lot lately.
I
That's
love
their
Jack
current
Donaghy.
show before
Yeah.
bed, and I'm just saying, like, I keep having that thought.
No,
He's
I
so good.
no, I love Jack Donaghy. Jack Donaghy. He's fantastic. And he just the first time you see him, he just kicks down a wall and walks in and
It's
tells
so
Liz Lemon, "I'm
good.
Jack." He's fantastic. Jack Donaghy is. Have you gotten to the part where he talks about Reaganing, which is having a
Oh,
perfect
yes.
day? Yeah,
Yes,
it's incredible.
that was so good, yeah.
Oh, I love Jack Donaghy. I live my life as if I
We
were
just
Jack
did
Donaghy.
we
But
did the episode where Liz gets a mentor, a mentee, right? And he's like,
no,
"Oh, I'm your grand mentor. She's beautiful, Liz." Like, it's so cute. Anyway, yeah,
30
sorry.
Rock is amazing. Donald Glover wrote on that show. Who else wrote on that show? A lot of very great comics wrote on that show. But
TV
Jack
fell off
Donaghy,
after 30 Rock. Really, like
yeah, it's
things
Alec
started to move
Baldwin.
towards the internet. You know, like
Alec Baldwin rules, but as a guy, he's fucking terrible. His wife Hilaria just fakes a Spanish accent.
Yeah,
Jack,
it's
ooh,
hilarious.
rough.
Okay? I think she's great. She's cracks me up.
kill yourself right now.
Yeah,
So,
low clap for that. Low clap. No,
that's you should die. I mean, as a person, actually, it's bad that you're even on the internet. But,
I like that that's what that did it for you.
no, it's crazy,
Just be
dude.
saying hilarious, hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating when people say the same thing over and over again, and when I see you, someone that it's like a part of what I'm doing, say what other people say, it makes me go, "I understand," like that guy in the Bible that went and killed his own child. I understand that.
But
I
he didn't
understand it.
kill the
But
kid.
yeah, because
Also,
God told
what
because comedy told him not to do it, and that's what's happening to you right now. But anyway,
dude,
Jack
there's a
Donaghy is
whole
amazing.
Xena
Jack Donaghy is
episode
amazing.
about that, right? So, like, where Xena, like, goes up there and there's, like, someone using, like, a trumpet thing to make the voice, and Xena has to stop him from killing the kid. It's crazy.
Cool. Stolen Stories, great. I've heard Xena's
It's
so
great.
good from you.
It's pretty
Uh,
good.
but no, Jack Donaghy is a great character. He's my favorite character. He's not as good as Ron Swanson, but like those are characters that in fiction, I see myself in those guys. You know,
Of course you do.
of
oh,
course.
you like Ron Swanson? You
Yeah,
were a
he's
Ron
great.
Swanson guy? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
pretty good. I like him. Uh,
We
you know,
should, so what if we not touched
if
on
you
that
can
you
just
wanted to touch on,
1
Lee?
second.
No, we're done with this. We're running out of time.
You're
Let me think.
37 minutes out of time, idiot.
I know.
37. That's funny. Yeah. No, I think I think that pretty much covers it. I mean,
So
if
Else Gate was trash. That's I was
yeah,
right.
it was just pedophiles and poor people.
But it was nothing satanic on it.
If there was, there wasn't as many of them as there was pedophiles and poor people. Like
Okay. So but you never ran into it. Real big question before we do start to wrap up here. How much animal abuse and sexual abuse videos did you come into during that time? Because I heard that there was a lot, so much so that there was an article written about it.
so. Were those on YouTube Kids?
No, I don't think so. This was just like a general thing. There was like,
Right. Okay.
this was like in
Yeah.
Argentina or whatever. They were like forcing them to like watch a bunch of goddamn CP and cats getting lit on fire and just saying, "Oh no, that's not allowed" on Facebook.
The the
I think it was
I
specifically Facebook, but
regrettably, most of what I saw was like what I was supposed to be seeing
Wait,
because
regrettably?
well, just because it was so mind numbing. Like
I
there was
well,
never like you know what I mean? Like I would have loved a break every now and then
what?
for just like well,
Just watch a
don't get me
little
wrong.
animal abuse here and
Well,
there.
no.
I was
I
like,
see how that
God, that
sounds.
was just like, eh.
What a
I see how
rape.
that sounds. But there was also just a lot of stuff that was just like just filler
Yeah.
garbage or
You're like,
whatever. You know,
baby shark, dude, dude. Okay,
yeah.
baby shark, dude. Okay, baby.
The
Oh, that's a
I would
Yep.
raccoon
say
on
probably
fire.
the worst thing I saw on YouTube Kids was a security camera footage of, and God bless his soul. Uh, this Indian man is on a moped and he's driving down the street and hits a truck coming at him head on,
Oh yeah,
Ugh.
that'll happen.
and it he went because it was raining. He went so fast that he like slip and slided down the street, and
Yeah.
because it was like so fast, I don't think any kind of automation really could have picked up on it. So that's why like it was like an 11-second video, and it's like, yo, this is on YouTube. What's going on?
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness,
but
that's
you,
Yeah.
yeah,
horrible.
I mean, but you have to. This was as soon as the button came in, though. So I wonder if
Button.
like they purposely did it because I think there are a bunch of sinister souls out there
Oh,
that
absolutely.
honestly, they're like, I've got burner accounts and I live in fucking Eastern Europe or whatever, and nothing can happen to me because they don't have those laws out there. I mean,
Oh yeah,
people,
absolutely. There's
people,
no consequences for a lot of these people.
yeah, because they're just not like we live in this bubble of the Western world. I'm telling you, there's a bunch of evil, sinister, satanic motherfuckers out there, and uh, I'm glad the Elsa Gate is not something with that because I can scratch that one officially now off my list of doubtful.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, wait. To get back to those videos specifically that people were talking about though with the like it was like weird. I don't know. It's kind of what I was afraid AI would be. People were just making those
Oh yeah.
like by hand, like
What
rendering them.
what do you mean specifically?
Okay, so there were like animated videos
Oh,
of
absolutely. Like so
Spider-Man and Elsa and like
they
one of
weren't
them
always yeah,
Elsa
yeah.
got like pregnant in her butt or something.
Well,
It was
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
weird
not
stuff.
everybody, and not everybody takes
Yeah.
10 years to animate something, though. I mean, this is like Flash animation, but they've
It's
already
Okay,
got the
now
stuff.
it's back to criticizing me, thank you.
well,
Well,
so it's I've noticed how cheaply they're animated. I wouldn't even say it's Flash. Are you familiar with like how like After Effects works?
yes, very
Yeah,
much.
so they're that's how they're animating, basically. It's like it's very cheap, quick.
Mhm,
They've got the nursery rhyme and then, you know,
They're moving.
minimal MS Paint skills.
They're just moving
mhm.
keyframes around like pretty drastically, and yeah,
Yeah.
uh, you
It's
just
so they can churn out a lot because remember you had to remember when everybody was trying to get the YouTube algorithm game, you had to have like 2 videos a day of at least 10 minutes. And it's a lot to
yeah,
animate,
that
you
was
Yeah.
a
know.
long
So you
time ago.
gotta so that's why it was a lot of low quality slop. Like that's why the Spider-Man Elsa videos were just Filipinos running around their
If
houses
you
in like costumes. Like
Well, if you remember the animations, they were all just like a series of orbs. So that's why I was thinking that they were Flash because that was like kind of Flash animation. But yeah, you could definitely do that in After Effects. Uh yeah, I mean you could probably put one of those out in a day if you got all the models already and then
I mean I know people who will make like they call them like sprite fights or whatever, and they'll and they'll take video game characters and make fighting anime. I used to do this when I was a teenager, and so it's very easy to make those very simple animations of just dragging around keyframes. Like
Yeah, I got a program the other day, it's called Moho 12, and it's yeah, you have to build the thing, the figure, but then you just play with it like a doll, basically.
oh yeah, because a lot of 2D
that's what you
animation
can
now
do.
is like 3D trace.
Yeah. I mean that's why look, here to help the animated series will be a $5 only Patreon. It's gonna be good, and it's about me and Abby. It's okay. Look, it's
I just
basically
have to build
Clerks.
the figures first,
It's
you know?
look, it's basically Clerks. It's just me and Abby
Okay.
working at a convenience store.
That would be pretty easy to do,
Your
honestly.
customers are
I
just
just
standing
have
at the
to
counter.
Pack of cigarettes.
so I
It's
have to
gonna be good.
design us I have to build our skeletal structures because that's how you move the dolls, is by their skeleton bones. It's gonna be fun.
All right. Well, just so you know, I've got 3 legs. Right,
Okay,
fellas?
that's
Fellas,
ridiculous.
fellas,
Now I'm
talking
basing
about dicks.
your
Talking about
doll
dicks. No,
on
I
that
should have a
Sonic
belly. I should have a
commission I
belly.
did.
I should have a belly, bone structure.
A belly bone I'm gonna
I
put
should.
bones in your belly so that I can make it move.
Yeah.
Jiggle physics. He's got jiggle physics.
I should have jiggle physics in my belly, man.
Put the like breast physics in his stomach.
I don't have
Yeah.
breasts. I don't have breasts. I have Jewish, like, appreciated breasts. I just have a big fat gut.
Underappreciated breasts.
They are
Jewish
they are they are
underappreciated. What does that
it
mean?
means I don't have tits. I wish I had tits. I don't have tits. I just got the belly. Zoe.
I don't okay.
I don't have the
Alright.
concave chest, really, but
Yeah, well,
I clearly have some Jew in me.
You're Dutch.
Yeah, that's probably Jewish.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, we're all money guys.
well, East India Company, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, the fucking
exactly.
Dutch, all they did was goddamn fun that they didn't know. What did they think the Americans were gonna win? They were just like, this will be funny. Like, that's all they did. I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know anything. I don't know anything
Alright.
about
to any
history.
fact checkers, East India Company was British. My bad.
Yeah, no, the Dutch
Haven't
win
you
again.
even seen Pirates of the
But
Caribbean?
but
It's
hold on,
great.
didn't the Dutch like fund against them because they hated the British?
I have no
Uh,
idea. No idea.
Dutch East India Company. Yeah. That's what that was.
No, I thought the Dutch were like, fuck Britain, so they gave the revolutionaries money because they were like, let's see what happens. Which, they were kind of America of the time, I guess.
I'm not sure about that.
Uh,
We are out of time,
No,
beyond out of
yeah.
time, though, and we're gonna start to close out now. So, Lee, we would like you to, if you have anything you wanna promote at all, I don't
Uh,
know.
I would like to promote that people not leave their children on the internet unsupervised.
Yes, please watch what your
Uh,
children are
well,
doing.
who's gonna listen to the fucking podcast, dickhead?
Oh, please don't let children listen to this podcast. Don't do that. It's
oh
not
no.
good.
Oh Lord, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, children are impressionable. We don't want little Bryden or Abby running around ruining everyone's lives. You
She's
know.
got
Nope.
fucking 3 little Abbies running around.
Yeah, but they're not
Oh, it's
listening to the show, okay?
No, no. That's I don't think you understand my spider reach into your family.
Oh gosh. Oh, no.
I
Okay.
I I don't let them on the internet, Abby. I'm already
Alright,
there.
so you can follow our dear guest here. Just follow the link in
I'll also
the
put
description
put
there.
me
The
you gotta tell me the
Theosis
link.
Quest on Twitter.
Yeah, it's just the Osis Quest. I was literally looking for it
This
right
was
now,
a
the link to it.
super people are gonna get mad that we ruined it, specifically me, but this was a super informative fucking interview, actually. Uh, I can't believe that all of my bias has been completely confirmed.
yeah, Yeah, I wanted to be able to have like I tell this story because people like I didn't realize how interesting this was to people to the point to where like people
Oh, that
like
you
would
were
like
part of Skynet? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because when I told people about it while I was doing it, they were like, "Oh, that's crazy," internet job, like whatever. But yeah, dude, like you've got no privacy. Don't leave your kids alone on the internet. The Skynet's coming sooner than you think, and it's powered by Indians.
I mean, it's crazy they're
That's the
gonna replace.
scariest part.
It's crazy that they used white people and then they used Indians, and they're gonna replace the Indians, and then you could see the line of it just all getting stupider because AI is just gonna start asking AI how to do shit, and they're gonna be like, "I don't
Oh,
know,
yeah.
fucking eat some
That
rocks." Like,
that's already a problem. AI is degrading because it's training on itself. That's why do you think all those Ghibli pictures have a tint to them?
I mean, it's crazy.
Oh
Just
my
ask
goodness.
some guy who's been doing it for 30 years. Like, just
I know.
make that a thing.
I used to edit together memes, and now it's like, why even bother?
Just,
You know?
it's just fucking crazy. Sorry, Abby, go ahead. It's just I get so frustrated with the world. And you didn't ask me what my plugs today were gonna be because guess what?
'Cause
This is
what?
tomorrow on Friday. I am going to be streaming what I've heard is not a very good game, the casting of Frank Stone. So you can check that out on this channel and then kick.com/Bryden, Bryden. Yeah, I think that's is it? Which is it Bryden or Bryden Proctor? It's one of those.
Bride Proctor.
If you're actually gonna watch it, you're gonna yeah, it's Bryden Proctor. If you're gonna watch it, because somebody took Bryden, I remember that. Somebody already took Bryden, which
I'm so
pissed me off.
sorry.
Somebody did it on purpose. They're just being butthole. Yeah, they have 0 fo someone as soon as Kick started, they just took it because they're a fucking jerk.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
respect, dude, I do respect that. But
So go watch that. We also have a Patreon episode with Lee, which will come out on Monday. That's patreon.com/here to help podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you get the whole back catalog.
yeah, and it's so many. It's like
Yeah, it is.
120.
It's usually 4 a month. Sometimes it's 3. We only promise 3, but it's always 4
It
basically.
has not been
That's a
3 a
great deal.
month for a year, dude. It's
Yeah.
always 4.
So it's a lot.
Thanks for
What
coming
were
on the
you
show,
saying,
Lee.
Lee? That it's such a good deal? Is
Yeah,
that
it's
what
a
you were
good deal.
saying?
No, it's a great deal. It's a lot of content
Oh,
for
are you a subscriber to the Patreon?
yeah, totally. And
Yeah,
all
yeah,
your
shut
viewers should
the
be too.
fuck up.
Thank you again for coming on. It was a great
Absolutely.
episode.
I
That
loved
was great.
coming here. It was a lot of fun.
That was really cool. That's, if we ever have any questions about, because I think that they're trying to build a satanic AI, but, Abby thinks that it's the Anunnaki
What?
or whatever.
No, I think that the AI is completely disconnected from it, actually, but sure.
I mean, it's fine. They're building
Uh,
what do you think Bitcoin is, dumbass? Anyway, let's do the show.
What do you okay, whatever. Thank you everyone for listening and have a great week secure in the knowledge that we are with you and we are the only ones you can trust are
We're
here to
here to
help.
belch. Hold on. Oh, I don't have a burp. Never mind. Sorry.
What the hell?